Greetings, readers. Welcome to today's insert. My name is Mbali Blai, your favorite reading activist and a lifestyle reading specialist. What we know is that reading is important, and I always mention reading is a lifelong skill that we all need to take personal responsibility for. Reading helps you think critically, right? And it also helps you to communicate more effectively, and it also stimulates your creativity. So the benefits of reading are quite endless. Truth be told, they are endless and they've got a ripple effect. But sometimes, too often maybe, for some, you could be a reading couch potato. So today, I want to speak to the reading couch potato. But first, let's start by unpacking this term, reading couch potato. What is a reading couch potato, right? A reading couch potato is someone who, doesn't want to put in the work. You take a book, but you don't want to put in the work. You don't want to put in the energy. You don't want to make an effort to read. You are just not interested, basically. You just pick up that book and you allow yourself to become easily distracted, and you're just not putting an effort. It's as if someone is holding a gun to your head to actually read that book, Then, my friend, that's what I mean by a reading couch potato. The chances of you being a reading couch potato are high, which means that you are a lazy reader. You are a lazy reader. And today I want to speak to those people that are lazy readers and how to overcome being a lazy reader and overcoming what I call the lazy reader syndrome, or what I call the couch potato reader syndrome. How do you overcome that, right? How do you overcome that? Number one, good people, please stop reading books that you have no interest in. Please stop reading books just for the sake of looking or seeming smart or trying to impress people. Please stop it. Please stop it. Please, good people, hear me now. Hear me now, and hear me well. Read books that you genuinely like, okay? If you are into books that speak about cars, read books on cars if you have an interest. And I shared this in my previous insert in terms of how to develop a habit of reading. I shared this, right? But now I am emphasizing that you need to stop reading books that you don't like, because they are going to bore you. And you are definitely going to be a couch potato reader when it comes to reading that specific book, because the chances of you taking that book is trying to impress people. No, read books that genuinely interest you, that you like reading, right? That's number one. Number two, okay. Now, I know this part might seem slightly a bit controversial. Controversial because it's contradicting slightly what I have mentioned before, but it's not, right? It's not. I will always advocate a reading lifestyle, and that is why I'm continuously releasing these inserts. So point number two, that was a disclaimer. Point number two, if you are reading and the book bores you, good people, just stop it, park it, put it on the side, take a breather, just put it there. If you read a book, if you find yourself reading a certain book and it bores you, as in you are bored, park it, close the book, and just leave it for a little while, right? Leave it, and just in your brain, just put it to say, to be read, pending, and allow the regret, of wanting to know the ending, basically, get the grip of you. So what am I saying? If you find yourself reading a book and it just loses you, or you lose each other, sometimes you lose each other between you and the author. You just lose each other some way, and you can't find each other. Then just say, okay, I'm going to put you for a little while. Just put the book on the side and say, let me go find a book that, number one, interests me. Let me go find a book a different book and start reading it. I'll come back to that book when the curiosity of wanting to know how it ends actually gets the grip of me, right? But I'm not encouraging you to not finish books that you start, right? That's why I needed to make that disclaimer. Because someone might come back and say, but Mbali, you're always encouraging us to finish books. You are always encouraging us to take on a lifestyle of reading, but here you are saying we shouldn't finish books. No. What I am saying is that if you happen to lose each other, you and the author, and it bores you, you are not going to continue being attentive and paying attention to what you are reading because you're already bored. So that's what I don't want. Hence, I'm saying put the book aside. Put the book aside if that happens to you, right? And number 3, enjoy the read. Enjoy the read, because what sometimes too often happens is, we are not mindful when we are reading the books that we are reading. We want to start a book and say, hey, I want to finish reading this book as fast as I can, but we're not mindful. And remember, I once mentioned that you only remember what you pay attention to. So point number 3 is to be mindful, be present when you are reading, engage in what you are reading. If you want to read out loud, read out loud. I mean, just engage in the book. That's what I'm saying. Enjoy the moment. Be mindful, without necessarily having the end goal. And the reason why I'm saying that, good people, is that, sometimes when you pick up a book and you're like, it's 250 pages. Oh, it's 350 pages. It's 100 pages. It can sometimes overwhelm you because you feel like you are not going to be able to finish that book. But that's a lie. That's what your brain is telling you. But if you take it in small chunks, right? Like the statement says, eat an elephant piece by piece, right? So if you actually adopt that thinking to say, I'm going to be mindful, I'm going to be present, you would surprise yourself because you'll end up finishing reading about 30 pages in a short period of time because you were actively reading the book, right? And before you know it, you're done with the book because you didn't become overwhelmed by finishing to read 300 pages, 200 pages, or however amount of pages, but you were mindful of each page, and that's how you get to actually complete the book. And that's what I'm saying by point number 3, right? So those are the 3 points that I want to share with you, right? This couch potato reader or reading couch potato, it must stop, guys. It must stop. Be intentional about your reading. Be intentional about your personal development, okay? Because I shared in the beginning the benefits of reading. I mean, they are endless. They are endless, right? So happy reading. I love you all so much. Bye.